Well,
This is definitely hitting a nerve. Like, seriously. Great topic, you
all
know,
right.
because successful businesses and businesses and relationships put a huge strain on one another.
Yeah. Yeah. They do.
And it's crazy talk.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about it
Let's
because,
talk about it.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's,
Can you have a successful business and relationship and feel awesome?
yeah. Well, I know for me, Haley, it was when I was in my toxic relationship, my 22-year toxic relationship. I wanted a business so bad. In fact, I went to I invested in starting God, what was the name of that? It was a network marketing. It was sexy toys for women
Hmm.
company. I forget.
Like pure romance or something?
Yeah, but it wasn't pure, it was something else. But yeah, same concept. And I had asked, because that's what you do in a toxic relationship, you have to get permission.
Of
If
course.
if I could do this, wanted to make
Mhm.
sure it was okay. And he said yes. Anyway, I got I started with the biggest package, and then he changed his mind. But the reason why I got into that was because they like had a convention in Las Vegas. So I was like, ooh, I could travel, I can meet all these other women, because this specific company, um, it was women only. Like, even at the parties, they were like, women only. This is for women, no men, no co-ed and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
that's what I really liked about it, right? And then I thought, oh, traveling and meeting other women and like-minded, entrepreneurs, and it just really resonated with me. So I was so excited to do this. Bought the big package, and then he changed his mind. That's a whole nother story. But it wasn't a success. Like, I didn't even get started before it was shut down because of the relationship that I was in.
Mhm.
Because he, for went bipolar on me, and one minute says yes and the next minute doesn't support me,
Mhm.
was like no. And now, so that was then. So now here I am in
Right.
this relationship with my husband now. Um, Different husband. for for the listeners, different husband.
Different guy. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's completely different. Like,
Mhm.
the support that I have from him, and even the support of just like, hey, I'll stay out of your way. I know you're doing your thing. I'll leave you
Mhm.
alone. Giving me that space to do my thing when I'm in
Mhm.
my office, respecting and all of that makes a huge difference. And the like I said, I didn't even get to start that business back then to now running a successful online coaching, speaking, and writing business.
Yeah.
Completely different.
Yeah. No, and I mean, and there's a difference between what I think for a lot of people is spousal uncertainty. The person that you're in a relationship with, their
Hmm.
uncertainty and, you know, narcissism, like you're dealing with that bipolar, like, oh my gosh, I'm going to say it's okay, and then I'm going to yank the rug out from underneath you tomorrow.
Yeah. Hmm. And it's ironic because I really didn't expect it then,
Mm-hmm.
and I should have, because that's the history, the behavioral history, right? But I
Yeah.
didn't.
Yeah, of course, because, you keep hoping amongst
Right.
hope that this time it'll be different.
Exactly. Exactly.
If I only try one more time, it'll be different.
Right. Yeah. Always hoping this time it'll be different. That's
Hmm.
exactly it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I do have to say, it is hard to have a relationship early on in a business because of all the stress that's involved. I mean, I
Hmm.
had my fair share of stress, and my husband pretty much thought I was sitting at home all day eating bonbons and watching soap operas. Um, And, it wasn't initially super successful. And what are you doing? Why are you putzing around? Why are you playing? It took him a while to realize I wasn't really playing, that things do take time, that I was making money. And a lot of my time was taken up dealing with our eldest child who has some disabilities. And, it's really interesting. But that is very contrasting with okay, I'm going to yank the rug out from underneath you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Because all businesses take time. I know for me now, being in a healthy relationship, I am very mindful of, okay, I've been in the office for, it's time for me to take a break, go be with my husband, eat dinner, even if I have to come back in here and do lives at 10 o'clock.
With this crazy woman that you're doing lives with.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm very mindful of making sure that there's still time with him, quality time, and scheduling things around. And that's the beauty of being an entrepreneur, right? We can do this, scheduling time and events or whatever around our travel time. And now we have a beach place down at Sneads Ferry and for weekends, and like we're going to be there pretty much all summer and things like that. It takes, you have to make sure that you schedule time for your relationship and make sure you have that quality time with your partner.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's hard to do when running a business because, it's, pedal to the metal. I was joking earlier about, I like living my life at 95 miles an hour. And I always have, but I also, and a lot of people are like, are you working 12, 14-hour days? And I know that you asked me this one time recently, and I'm like, well, the answer is not exactly as it, life is not exactly as it appears online.
Isn't that the truth?
What you think you see me doing online may be very different from the reality that is my life and my business.
Right.
Which is, I take time every day to spend time with my husband. I cook dinner pretty much 6-7 days a week. And if I'm not cooking, we're going out to eat. And we're spending time together. And we go out and we walk pretty much most days when the weather is favorable for it, except when we have both killed our backs in the last couple of days. And then we're just, we're going to go sit in a park and just chat for a few minutes.
Yeah.
But that relationship piece is huge to that feeling awesome piece.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yes, it is. And for me, I take the feeling awesome piece as also setting time aside for you, right? For us as the individuals, as the entrepreneurs, because, being women, being entrepreneurs, we're spread pretty thin, especially you still have children in the house where that's one thing I don't have to think about and deal with. I don't want to say deal with because they're my kids, but you know what I mean.
I'm kind of empty nesting right now.
Right. Where I am completely empty nested. So just the fur babies. So that's one thing off of my plate that I don't have to consider. But there's also me. What about my time? Go to the gym, work out, or do whatever it is for my time so that I feel awesome inside of me. So there's also that piece for us to think about in being entrepreneurs. Yeah. But
the self-care and relationship care is vital. It actually comes back and feeds back into the business.
Yeah.
I have found that the more time I spend with my husband, the more mindful I am of my time, the more I go to the gym and I work out. This morning I got up and I went to the gym, and yes, guys, I got my shower for the day, which was a bath. I soaked for about 20-30 minutes before this live.
Oh, that's nice.
And I got to sit there and I was soaking and floating in the bathtub while I was chatting with my husband.
That's nice.
But it's that self-care time is vitally important.
Totally. Yeah.
And getting to spend that little bit of time together and just hanging out.
Yeah. And having the understanding for yourself and your partner having the understanding, depends on, where you are in the business, but there's always got to be that understanding piece that the business takes time. And I think having a schedule is important to have a successful business and relationship and feeling awesome. Like you said, gym in the morning, right? Scheduling time to cook dinner, run the kids around if that's needed.
Time to eat lunch.
Right. Yeah.
Time to spend with the husband.
Yeah.
Time to get chores done. Okay, y'all, I suck at house cleaning and most chores, and I'm forbidden from doing the laundry.
Oh.
Pro tip, I will have been married 30 years in June, and I have been forbidden from doing the laundry for almost 30 years.
Oh, there's a story there. I'd love to hear it. What did you bleach?
I didn't bleach anything. I just washed all of his clothes with his red sweater because I don't separate the whites and the coloreds. And it dyed everything he owned pink. And he's like, you have to separate stuff. And I'm like, I didn't think it would be a problem. And he's like, you have to separate stuff. And I'm like, blink, blink, I do. And so he has figured out that I am completely unreliable about separating laundry and thus not to be trusted to do laundry.
Good deal.
Pro tip, if you never want to do laundry again.
Right. Put the red sweater in, make everything pink for your husband.
Everything. All of his underwear, all of his socks, all of his clothing, half of my clothing.
Oh my gosh.
It was all pink.
That is so funny. That's so funny.
29 and a half years and counting, baby.
Winning.
Hashtag. There is a reason my user ID is Dartha Stewart.
I lucked out. I have a Marine for a husband, and he is just like, he does everything before I can even get to it. I'm so lucky because, well, he's retired also. So he's at home and he likes to stay busy. He's that type of he's not a sitting on the couch flicking the TV. Thank you. So he likes to stay busy. So he's either doing something in the lawn or in the shed or on the deck or.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So laundry gets done, house stuff. He always jokes. He's like, I'm your house bitch.
I like it. I like a good house bitch.
Right? He's sexy too. So it works for me.
That's nice. That's really nice. Yeah. Mine was cleaning out the attic this weekend while I was fetching and carrying kids.
Nice. 95 miles an hour.
Interstate 95.
Yeah.
I-95. Here we go, baby. No, I was not driving 95 miles an hour. But Lord have mercy. Yeah, in the relationship and the successful business and the feeling awesome, one of the things that I learned with my weight loss surgery is how important that is.
Yeah. Very. Yeah. And the relationship with yourself, like that's what I'm always talking about, is having the healthy relationship with yourself. And that's where the self-care, like you were talking about, comes in, and going to the gym and all of that is for yourself. That's, being with yourself, making sure you're eating good, staying healthy, mindset is in place, and that ripples out to the relationships around you, right? The people closest to you, and you feeling good about yourself. And it also helps in your business when you can show up in your business and you're feeling good about yourself with your clients, and you're your best version of yourself for your team, your clients, everybody. It makes a huge difference. But it's really, you got to stay focused on.
If you don't take care of yourself, there won't be a business.
Right.
There won't be a relationship.
No.
There won't be a body. You will feel like crap. You'll gain weight.
Yeah.
Or lose weight if that's your proclivity.
Right. Exactly. Either or.
And going back to takes a hit.
It does.
And then it spirals.
Yes. Yeah. And going back to the story that I was sharing with you earlier about when I was in my 22-year relationship and doing the sex toy business, I wasn't taking care of myself back then as well. I don't want to just put everything on him. I wasn't taking care of myself. My mindset was not in a good place at that. Clearly, I was in a toxic relationship. So, yeah, I wasn't taking care of myself, mind, body, and soul. And my relationships around me were all toxic, not just with him, my sisters. And there was a bunch of drama and chaos. And I was putting out fires daily. And the idea was great. Let me start a business. Let me travel. Let me meet new women, and part of it, I think, was like, I just wanted to escape what I was in. And that was an outlet for me. And then
Right. And that idea of the new business and, oh yeah, it's going to take off instantly and it'll be perfect and it'll be easy.
Yeah.
Because that's what you bought into.
Right.
And then the reality hit.
Yeah.
On so many levels.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. And it changed everything.
And the thing is that if your relationship is not rock solid when you start a business, it's going to be a lot harder. And if you don't have that relationship with yourself,
that's key. That's number one above.
So explain, to people that are watching, so say you are in a narcissistic or abusive relationship and you go off to start a business and you're not already taking care of your business. What happens?
Pretty much what you said. It's going to be either a huge struggle, more than it needs to be, or it's going to be, I don't want to say fail, because nothing's a failure, right? Like I can look
back. It's a lesson. Painful lesson.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, for some people, it may be the opposite, may be motivation for them to strive at it even harder and turn it into a success. But for the most part, if you don't feel good about yourself and you don't feel good about, if you have somebody nagging in your ear, this and that, you're not
saying things.
Yeah. That aren't healthy, that are very degrading and putting you down. And then when you do come across a failure, whatever, in your business, then your mind goes to, oh God, he was right.
It's twice as bad.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would say that, I always say, if you're in a relationship like that, like, seek help, get out. It's not healthy for you. It's not going to get better. It never gets better. It only gets worse. Regardless, whether you have a business or not, I always say that. And also, if you have a business, like, to really consider the reality of it.
And what is that reality?
The reality that it's most likely not going to work, because like we just said, if you have somebody chatting in your ear saying negative crap, and then you come across something happens in your business, small or big, and then he is confirming, I told you, and
I told you
your
so,
mind,
I told you so, I told you so.
Right. And your mind does it too. Your mind will say, crap, he was right. And it'll spiral from there. And not, So.
Yeah. You would have to have balls of steel to get through that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I said. Some people might use it as a motivational tool, but for the most part, it's going to be what we just described.
Yeah, tremendously demotivating.
It's going to be that. Yeah.
And difficult.
Yeah. Not to say you can't do it. You absolutely can. Like, you can leave a relationship like that. You can build a business, a successful business. I mean, who would have thunk in a million years, not me, that I would be having a business talking to women of healing these types of relationships because of my 22-year relationship. Like I always say, if somebody would have told me that, I would have been like, yeah, right. Because for the longest time, I didn't even know that he was a narcissist and that I was in an abusive relationship. So, I mean, anything is possible.
Right. And what's interesting is that most people don't realize that they're in dealing with a narcissist and that they're in an abusive relationship because it's not
Right.
physical.
Exactly. That's why I call it the silent abuse. It's very silent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And there's no crime involved. You can't call the cops and say, he just said X, Y, and Z. He threatened me. He threw all my crap out on the front lawn. True story. I'm alone with the kids, driving around at night, have nowhere to go. It's not a crime, and so what do you do? Right. And then there's all that shame in that of being in that. And I can't talk I can't talk to my family about this because I've already talked to my family about this. They've already told me what to do. And if I go and talk to them again, like it's just, so then you're embarrassed, you're ashamed, you feel like, what am I going to do? Where am I going to go? Yeah, it's a whole, yeah.
Yeah. And I think that women with young children are particularly vulnerable
Absolutely.
to this type of
Absolutely.
abuse because
Yep.
you've got to protect your children.
Right. Right. Well, that's what I just described is a true story. I remember one time, Lord knows what we were arguing about, but he kicked me out with the kids. They were car seat little. And I remember I had my mom van and I was driving around going, what am I going to, like, where am I going to go? Because he was forbidding me to come back. And I remember this was so long ago because they're 27 and 28 now. I remember pre-cell phone days, I had to stop and at a payphone and call him and suck it up because where my kids needed a bath, they needed to eat, they needed to get to bed. And I didn't have time in that moment to fight with him, argue with him, and try to reason with him. My kids needed, their stability. So I got on a payphone, I called him and I said, I'm sorry. And I said, whatever he wanted to hear so that my children could get in their home, in their beds. Yeah. Yeah. The kids play a huge role in staying in these relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huge role.
I can't tell you how many women I've talked to that have stayed in these relationships because of the kids.
Yep. That was me too. The main reason. And codependency, of course. But that's also a part of the codependency, right? The kids. But the codependency, besides the kids, for me, was the financial part. I don't have a degree. I don't have a career. And any money that I had was through my ex-husband. So I was dependent on him financially. And we lived in a nice house. We lived in a nice neighborhood. Our kids went to private school. I drove a nice car, vans. And, there was always that threat over my head. Well, if we divorce, if you leave me, you're not going to have this. And the kids aren't going to have this. So, and then how are my bills going to get paid? Where was I going to live? And my mind kept always going to like, I'll have to live in like crappy neighborhoods and crappy apartments and not safe for my children or me. Yeah. So it's a huge factor.
It is.
Of why they stay. Yep.
Yeah.
Along with getting comfortable in your dysfunction. You just get used to it. As terrible as that sounds, you do.
Yeah, you do. I mean, it's what you know.
Right. Yep.
Right. There is familiarity and there is comfort in familiarity.
Yep. Yeah.
And there's fear in the unknown.
Right. Exactly.
No matter how much better it might be.
It's always better. Yeah. That's why it took me 22 years. The signs didn't just happen in the last year. They were there the whole time.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. before we even got married. But it was the thought of like, where am I going to go? How am I going to, and that's one of the biggest reasons why I came here to North Carolina, because I was in South Florida, where it's very expensive to live. And I thought, well, North Carolina, cost of living's got to be better than this. And it is, but it was one of the best decisions that I ever made.
I love that for you.
Yeah. Because look at all of this. Look at all the connections. I mean,
All the
my life
abundance.
is so amazing. Huh?
All the abundance.
Yeah. Everything. Yeah. All around me. It's kind of crazy, because it's like I was here and I'm here now. And it's just like two completely different worlds. Completely different.
I love it so much. That's cool.
It's fun.
Cool.
Fun.
Thank you for sharing that.
Thanks. You're welcome.
So how does somebody find you?
Well, I'm on Facebook. I'm all over. Well, my website is being rebranded right now. It's True Love After Toxic Love. So the contact links do work, so they can contact me, go into True Love After Toxic Love, Instagram, Facebook, emails there, and YouTube.
Cool. I love it so much.
Cool. They can find me there.
Thank you.
We'll
be back all week talking about all the relationships and business and all the things. Yeah. Because it's important.
It is. Yep.
This is the real stuff, y'all.
Yes, it
is. The real stuff.
Yeah. Got to talk about it.
We do, or it never happened.
Exactly. It's important.
Y'all, take care. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.